Hello and welcome to Netflix versus Cinema. A question for you, good listener. Big stream or big screen? Which one do you prefer? Which one do you think is worth more of your money? Nowadays, there is apparently a crisis in the box office, and a lot of that day blame has been put down on streaming, and we are here to figure out which one you should spend your money at.
Let's get ready to rumble!
My name is Tosin, and I am the host of the podcast based up in the United Kingdom in a place called Bromsgrove near Birmingham. Joining me, as always, on the Isle of Wight is Shaun Harris.
Hello there.
Not joining us is Sharon because family stuff, as happens every now and then. But joining us, because she's confined to her house, is our London correspondent, Holly Nessling.
Hi.
Okay, cool. I just realized by saying that it makes it sound as if you're under house arrest or that you've done something.
Feels like house arrest. It's a broken ankle and an ill cat. It's not actual house arrest. It just feels like it.
Broken ankle and ill cat. So, as I said, we try and figure out ways you spend your money. And our way of doing it, the way we go about doing it is that we go and we watch stuff. We watch stuff in cinemas, we watch stuff at home, and then we come back and tell you where we rate everything out of 5 and come back and tell you where you think your money should be spent. And every now and then we break up into a highfalutin existential thing as to why cinema or why streaming or anything like that. All right, so let's kick off this week and talk about what it is we have seen in the cinema. So Shaun every now and then goes beast mode, and I think this time of year is a very good time for Shaun to go beast mode because there's a lot of stuff trying to win Oscars in the cinemas that comes out. And there's a lot of stuff that's kind of like, well, people will be tired of that Oscar stuff. Let's get into the cinemas. So Shaun, tell us, what have you seen?
Okay, so I've seen The Housemaid. Okay, I've seen Rental Family, which was a secret screening.
Oh yeah.
You okay? Yeah.
I'm fine. So, yeah.
Okay, and what else have I seen? The Housemaid.
Primate, you said?
Primate. Yeah.
Okay,
and
cool.
There's another one, isn't there? I'm sure I saw something else, but perhaps I didn't.
Okay. While we're going through your list, Holly, what have you seen in cinemas?
I have seen nothing in the cinema.
Oh, have you not?
Not a sausage.
Yes, because you have been confined to your house. So yes, you said Primate. The ones you gave us are Primate, Housemaid, Rental Family. There's Avatar.
Right, okay, so
There's Avatar, Fire and Ash, which we I think we're kind of avoiding.
We don't need to do that, do we? We don't really need to do that.
We're avoiding talking about Avatar, Fire and Ash. We're like, whatever we say doesn't matter. It's going to make all the money.
Yeah, it was the same as all the others that we saw, I guess.
Well, yeah, I know. Last week, Holly, we were talking about the fact that when it comes to Avatar, we could probably cut and paste our last Avatar conversation and just sort of like put it in the place to go, yeah, this is what we think about Avatar. This is why I'm probably not watching it. So it's okay. And also, I was having a conversation with AI the other day, and it was coming up with an idea of something that we could do. And then this is one I actually think is a good idea. I was thinking that in addition to saying how many stars we've given something that we're watching in the cinema, we should also say whether you think you should actually bother going to the cinema to watch this film, whether you should wait for it to come onto streaming and watch it on streaming.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. That is interesting.
And I did think, that is an interesting wrinkle. I mean, it's
because something we're going to talk about later on. That for me, that's a really good point. But anyway, we'll talk on that later.
Yeah, what I'm going to be talking about, I think it's a very, very good point, because I have seen Hamnet in the cinema.
Cool.
Hamnet, fresh off its Golden Globe win, and I was so incensed that a film had the audacity to deny Sinners an award.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I didn't tell you, Toes. I watched Sinners again on Sky.
Yeah.
Because it's now on Sky. And it is brilliant, and it was just as good, probably as best on a second watch.
The thing is, like,
I'm like, this is so class.
You know how it is when you watch a film. You watch a film, and then the further away you get from the film, the smaller it gets in your mind, and just. I think Sinners has only gotten bigger. The further,
no, you're right. You're
the further after I've watched the film, just keep thinking, going, damn, that was a good film.
It was a good movie, yeah.
I've watched it at least 6 times now.
Yeah, and
yeah.
So it sounds like we're all in the boat of Sinners should win the Oscar. And the fact that there was an award that Sinners did not win and Hamnet won it instead made me incensed. And I thought, okay, look, I cannot go on a rant about this I was like, I cannot go on a rant about this if I don't actually see the film. I need to actually see the film because then I can go on. Then I can let myself loose and go on this rant. Okay, so Hamnet is what I saw in the cinemas. How about at home, Holly? What have you seen?
I have seen The Green Knight on Prime Video.
Oh, yep. I recommended this to like everybody, and you guys all went and watched it. Yes, I'm liking this.
Seen it. The His and Hers on Netflix, and the new Harlan Coben Runaway, also on Netflix.
You've gone in,
without Richard Armitage again.
you've gone into a bit of a Harlan Coben sort of.
I think I've seen all of them, but I can't tell them apart.
But no, you've gone into a Harlan Coben world. You've been sending us like articles on the Guardian saying Harlan Coben is like, was it something like they're all bad, but here's the best to the worst.
Here's them in the best order for terrible viewing. And they are still delightful, but I still can't tell any of them apart.
All right, cool. So
that's the thing.
Shaun,
That's the thing with series. Oh yeah, for me, because you gave us the thing is the Green Knight, and I've watched. Funny enough, I watched some old westerns and some stuff on YouTube, but stuff I'd seen before really. But the actual only new thing I watched was the Green Knight.
All right, cool. So the Green Knight is.
And I thought I may have seen it at the cinemas, but I hadn't. So.
When we get to talking about the Green Knight, that is something I will talk about because there's a story of the Green Knight and cinemas and why you may not have seen it in the cinemas. All right, okay, cool. So, and I am going to add to that. So we got Green Knight, His and Hers, and I'm going to add to that a film I saw on Disney Plus called Eenie, Meanie. Yeah, Eenie, Meanie, and I know that this isn't. No, it's not Prime Video, but Shaun, I think you'd like this one.
Oh, right, okay.
I think you'd like Eenie, Meanie.
But what's strange? Just what I'm going to say there on the Amazon thing.
Yep.
Sometimes there's a series, and it's actually on Prime, even though it says Apple TV. There was the one we spoke about.
Pluribus.
Pluribus, yeah. Yeah,
well, it's a weird.
Or was
thing
it just the first episode? Because I haven't really seen that.
Well, so it's a weird thing that this is going to be one of those bits where we go a little bit existential. It's a weird thing about Prime because Prime is its own thing and has its own TV shows on there, but it has all these sort of like subscriptions that you can get. So you can get Apple TV through Prime, you can get MGM Plus through Prime, but from what I understand, they'll let you see the first episode for free. But then after that, you have to pay. So you have to pay for your Prime membership, and they have to go and do a secondary payment for whatever thing it is to watch it through Prime. Gotcha. And from what I've seen, sometimes it's more expensive than just going and getting the thing itself. Like I remember seeing seeing that there was something where you can watch Paramount Plus through Prime, but it was could get a cheaper price for Paramount Plus by just going to Paramount Plus. So it's a weird thing that I've never fully understood.
So Pluribus I can actually get on there, and it says an astronomer discovered turns the planet upside down. Carol Stirrup, a curmudgeonly novelist. But anyway, it does say season 1, episode 1. Whereas normally, what you do is you would
have a list,
and then it would say series 1. So I'm assuming you're right there. I'm assuming it's just going to be
anyway, Shaun, I'm gonna tell you what. Even if they just let you watch the first episode, watching the first episode, I think will give you a lot to talk about, and and it will give us a clue as to whether we were right about whether you'd like it or not.
Okay, good idea. I'll do that.
So if they let you watch the first episode, at least I would say go see that. All right, cool. And let's see. We have that. So then Shaun talks. Then yeah, that works. Sorry, this is me going through a list and trying to figure out who's going to talk when and how do we do it. Okay, cool. In that case, I am going to let myself talk first, and I am going to talk Hamnet. I'm going to talk Hamnet, and I'm going to talk. I'm going to go to see essentially the film I went to see if my developing rant about this film beating Sinners to the Golden Globe was worth it. And so Hamnet, if you hear the title, you might think, okay, that sounds familiar. It sounds like a Shakespeare play. And for those people who know a little bit of their history, and it's a pity that Sharon isn't here because I wanted to know how much of this history is already known. Because this is one of those films that you're watching it and you're thinking, okay, how much of this is conjecture and how much of this actually happened? Because it's based on it's set in the life of William Shakespeare. Although the fact that Jessie Buckley is up for all the awards and is seen as the hot favorite to win a Best Actress Oscar for this film tells you that this film is not necessarily focused on Shakespeare. So if you know the story of Shakespeare, Shakespeare lived in the Midlands. He in Stratford upon Avon, and he was married. If by the time he went down to London, he was already married, but his wife and children stayed in Stratford. He went out to London to make his fortune, and then would go back and see them and all that. So by the time he goes down, he ends up with 3 kids. He has a daughter, Susanna, a son, Hamnet, and another daughter, Judith. And this film is all about, and I don't really think it's a spoiler to say, because it's like the central premise of the film is that, let's say by the end of their lives, Shakespeare and Anne Hathaway, which was her name, which it always throws me that that's the name of a film star. So like Anne Hathaway, by the end of their life, they had 2 kids. They had 3, they had 2 kids. So there was a tragedy that befell the family, and it's all about how that then informed his play that has a very similar name to Hamnet, and that's what this film is about. And it's about, so you get to meet at the beginning, and it has one of these things in this film where, so if you know that's what the film's about, you know going in, unless you know absolutely nothing, you know going in that's what this film's about. But they do a lot of stuff at the beginning, which is like, setting up their relationship, setting up like, how in love they are, how it is that they get married, how she's kind of seen as an outcast, like some people call her like a forest witch or something like that, because she's like really, really connected to the earth and really connected to nature and all that, and because of her mom. And so they go into all that stuff, how she's an outcast, how Shakespeare gets to her, how she inspires something in him, he inspires something in her, all the way to like the kids arriving and all that kind of, and I'm just kind of like, the first bit of this film, I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, cool, yeah, okay, I know you have to do this, but I came here for the meat. and I feel like the meat of the whole thing, because the film is called Hamnet, the meat of the whole thing doesn't really happen until about an hour in. The film's about 2 hours long. Doesn't happen until about an hour in. And then it is emotional. The film is emotional. Jessie Buckley is brilliant. Paul Mescal is Paul Mescal. I feel like, I know he's brilliant, and I know everyone talks about him, but I feel like he's the same in everything, quite frankly. And so it's like Paul Mescal is Paul Mescal. It's good. You have Emily Watson, who shows up as Shakespeare's mum. You have they go a little bit to Shakespeare and his relationship with his dad, which is a bit fraught. And the film culminates in a performance of Hamlet in the Globe. And first of all, I do not think it's better than Sinister. let me just go out there. Okay. Let me just go out there and say that. Let me just put it out there. I don't think it's better than this. My money is still on Sinister to win the Oscar, and if this film beats Sinister the Oscar, it feels like the kind of film people make when they're trying to win an Oscar. So Shaun.
I was going to say, are the Golden Globes American or English or
American? The Golden Globes are very American.
Oh, right, okay.
And the thing with this film is like, so do you remember something that kept coming through my head was Titanic. So I remember watching Titanic for the first time, and I remember loving Titanic. But when you go back and watch it again, and when you go back and watch it when you're possibly a little bit more cynical, you can realize how manipulative Titanic is. Like, Titanic is engineered to toy with your emotions, to make you go, and then just here, the music swells, and the music tells you, yes, this is what you're supposed to be feeling. And I feel that quite a bit with this film. So with Chloe Zhao, there's quite a few things that I feel like, I don't think that there's any way you could possibly have known that. I feel like there's no way you could possibly have known that that's what happened, but you've decided to choose something to do it because it has the most emotional impact. Whether it actually happened or not, besides the point. The fact is that it has an emotional impact that makes people cry. That's why you've done that. And I think that bit, they've done it very, very effectively. There's a bit that, the bit where they get to the Globe in London, sure, there's some bits that I think are going to make you so annoyed. There's some bits I think are going to make you so annoyed. You're going to be like, what? You wouldn't do that? It's like, so all in all, I think great performances, yes. Aptly Oscar music playing me off. So I think all in all, great performances, well-told, solid story. But I feel like it's kind of like, if it does win, it's because this is the kind of film that's supposed to win an Oscar. I don't feel like it does anything particularly new. And to answer, so I would give this, it's a 4-star. It's a 4-star film. It's a 4-star film, but I think it's like 4-star stuff that we've seen before. And Chloe Zhao does really well. Chloe Zhao is well known for filming nature, and she's really good at doing that. So I would give this 4 stars out of all. And to ask the new question that we're adding on top of it, which is, should you go and see this film in a cinema, or should you wait and see it on a streaming site? Personally, I would wait to see this on a streaming site, because I don't think that there's anything in this that really you would benefit more of by seeing it on a big screen. This has Sunday afternoon. It's a bit better than that, but it's just a very, very well made Sunday afternoon fare. That's what I would say. But also the other thing I would say is there's an actor called Noah Jupe. He was a child actor. He's been in a whole bunch of stuff. He was in the Quiet Place movies. He was in Le Mans or Ford versus Ferrari with Christian Bale and Matt Damon. And that guy, his family, I do not know what they've done in the Jupe family, but it's like they are somehow genetically engineering great child actors. Because the guy who plays Hamnet is called Jacob E. Jupe, and I'm pretty sure that's his younger brother. And I haven't had a chance to look it up, but I'm sure that's a great child performance. I think when I talk about the whole thing about the emotional blackmail of making you want to feel something, the kid nails it. So the kid. So I would say great child performance, all that, but that's it. Stay and see it on screen, and it's 4 stars for that for Hamnet. All right, and now we get onto the Green Knight. We get onto the Green Knight. Now, the Green Knight is something that, to give a bit of background about this one, it's something that I've had on my Amazon Prime, on my Prime Video watch list for about 5 years. I've had it on there for about 5 years, and I keep going, I'll get back to that. I never go back to it. Then finally, over the Christmas break, I was like, you know what? Let's do this thing. I'm going to watch this thing. No, I'm going to watch it. I don't care whether I feel like it. I'm going to watch this film. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh, sheesh. Okay, now, my first thought was, I wonder what Shaun thinks about this, because my thinking was, I think this is just the right kind of weird for Shaun. But it's on the knife edge. And for me, it's on the knife edge. But this film,
you know me so well.
I think it's like, but this film is one of the major early casualties of the COVID shuffle. And as much as that sounds like a dance move, I'm talking about when the pandemic hit and you had a whole bunch of films that were supposed to be released in cinema, and there was that period where they didn't have a clue what to do. They were like, well, we had all these films we were going to release in cinema. What do we do? Do we wait out the pandemic and wait to release them in cinema? Do we put them up onto some sort of streaming thing? What happens? And The Green Knight was one of these films where it was they were like, what are we going to do with this film? Because it's not like it's a blockbuster thing. It's not like it's James Bond. It's not like, it was one of the smaller things, and they eventually put it up onto Prime Video. So I think it got lost, and a lot of people missed out on The Green Knight and did not even know it was there, or do not even know it's on there. But this is essentially a story based on a poem called The Legend of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. It's an Arthurian poem. Gawain is he's somebody in King Arthur's court, and the whole idea is that this Green Knight shows up and he challenges anybody who says, if you can lay a finger on me in a duel, then well, fair play to you. But what happens is that if you lay a finger on me, then next year, in a year's time, I will do the same thing back to you. And so Gawain, who's sort of like King Arthur's nephew, he goes, yeah, I'll do it. He chops off the Green Knight's head. He's like, yay. But then the Green Knight stands up with his chopped off head and goes, well done. I'll see you in a year where I shall do the same to you. And then what shows up in this film is like, it essentially becomes like a road movie of sorts.
Road quest sort of thing.
Yeah, like a road quest movie where he goes along and he meets all sorts of random people along the way, and all sorts of weird, trippy, is it a dream or is it actually happening stuff happens to him on his way to meet the Green Knight. And that is the basic thing. So Gawain's played by Dev Patel, the Green Knight's played by Rafe Ennison. With that being said, I'm gonna keep Shaun for a while. Holly, what did you think of this?
Okay, I mean, first off, add that in the legend / became poem, which was, I think, written in the 12th or 13th century.
Yep.
The purpose of the entire quest is to show Sir Gawain's purity,
yes,
and goodliness, and that he is the perfect embodiment of a gentle knight,
of all the virtues that a knight is supposed to have.
Exactly, who is kind, who is gentle, who is chivalrous, who is honourable, and it is very well known for that, and this confrontation with the Green Knight, and then the year later, facing his journey to go to the Green Chapel, where he has committed to meet the Green Knight and face the consequences of his decision.
Yeah.
I'll let Shaun add his descriptive points there, but for me, it deviated quite a lot from the Arthurian poem.
Yes.
Which got up my nose a bit.
well, I think the thing about it, or if I may just say something, I think it's the incidents in the poem happen. It's the main deviation is the characterization of Gawain. Like he's not really a sir in this film. He's kind of like wishing to be a sir, and this is almost kind of like the quest changes from to show he's pure to almost to show that he's worthy of being a knight. That's what. So anyway, Shaun.
Yeah. If he's worthy of being a knight, he didn't really show many good examples. But what I was going to come back to is now for me, this film, this is where we talk. I would have loved to have seen this at the cinema. I would have really, really enjoyed to see this at the cinema.
Yeah.
Watching it on streaming, I found it a little bit tedious and dull. And I was finding myself, I mean, visually, this would have been lovely. I mean, the scene with the giants when they were going off reminded me of like the Savage Planet. And so this is my prime thing with saying, I think I would have enjoyed this so much more if I'd have seen this at the cinema, because I did find myself at times thinking, oh, this is a bit, and like checking the phone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that is the big thing with cinema or streaming. Cinema, you're sat in the cinema and you can concentrate, and that would have been visually, I think it looked absolutely beautiful, but it was easy to think, oh, this little bit's a bit dull, or this little bit. So, I mean, that's
or to be like, what the hell is that going on there? Didn't she have a head a second ago?
Yeah. So it was okay, but I think I would have enjoyed this at the cinema, because I think I would have been able to totally concentrate rather than
really sort of immersing yourself in it.
Yeah, I could immerse me. This is one of the films that I could have immersed in. So on the whole, I did find it like I was like starting to get a bit antsy. Yeah, and it was easy to check my phone and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I thought it beautiful, as you say. It was very well shot. It was the scenery was quite something. I thought the acting was good. I found Gawain a little bit annoying. Words I would use if we were not recording and on screen would be quite a lot ruder than that.
Yeah, I think it's
being polite.
I believe that he is like the callow youth. He is typically like that's they've turned him into a callow youth in here. He doesn't know much about the world, but thinks he knows everything. He goes out there. He's really naive. There's a scene with Barry Keoghan that where he meets up with Barry Keoghan in the field, and you're just kind of like, you know exactly where this is going. You know exactly where this is going. I'm like, how the hell can you not see where this is going? How stupid are you? And and there's a bit with Alicia Vikander doing a weird ass accent. I mean, this accent was so weird. I had to go online and search and be like, what's up with the accent? And there was a whole bunch of people. I think the first thing I found was a tweet or a Twitter of somebody who just sort of said, I think it was Alicia Vikander's accent in The Green Knight is a bit much, to be honest, and that was the tweet. Because there's a bit where I think, is she trying to do a Yorkshire accent or what I'm guessing there was nobody but that's the thing, you had Ralph Innocent, who is a Yorkshire man, who could have said that's not a Yorkshire accent, but I guess he wasn't in any scenes with her, but still, it's like, I don't know what that thing was. So how many stars would we give The Green Knight?
Just like to once more reiterate, even when he got older, which I'm going to say there are points of age.
Yes, there's points where you see him at different ages.
Still was an obnoxious human being whom I wanted to shake. And again, I am being...
That's saying something mild there.
I I am being considered and polite.
Do you think that's because you knew the poem and you were annoyed about the deviation? Or do you think that's just in general?
Both.
All right,
Both.
cool.
I was annoyed by the deviation, but for the love of God.
Okay, so how many stars would you give it, Holly?
I would actually give it 3.
All right.
I think it was a good film.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very good film. I thought it was a very beautiful film. I didn't like it. I have said this before about things, and I will say it about them again. Something can be good, and I can not like it. So,
or bad, and you love it.
It deserves a higher rating than I have given it, I suspect, and it is toned down because I, didn't like it.
Okay, Shaun.
Okay, well, it's a difficult one for me because seeing it, I think
it's
the
experience as well.
That's what I'm going to say. This is the one thing with the cinema versus streaming is. So I'm going to give this a 2.5.
2.5. Sorry, 2.5. Shaun. I mean, sorry, Sharon. No, too many S's, too many shiz. Holly. Sorry, Holly. You weren't around last week. We're now doing decimal points.
Okay.
But we will refine this as we go along because I think something that Sharon said might be the way to go about it. Like the 0.25, 5.75 kind of thing.
Yeah. That which is what I was. In which case, I am going to adjust slightly and give it 3 on the nose.
3 on the nose.
It's still the same score, but it's 3.
I was thinking that. Yeah, good shout.
Cool, good stuff. And
that was a close one because I could have gone to 2.75 or I could have gone to 3.25, but
the thing is, I actually quite like this, and it might have something to do with the fact that Shaun, going on the back of your thing, that if you're in the cinema, you could get immersed in it and everything like that. And I agree with you that there are some bits where you're like, okay, I don't know what's going on here, pick up the phone or anything like that. But being a dad to 2 small children, I mean, there's no way I'm watching the whole film in one sitting. So I had breaks to sort of come back to it and everything like that. And I quite liked it. I'm not entirely sure I know what everything is.
Well, you wouldn't have been able to do that at the cinema, you see.
Exactly. Wouldn't be able to do that at the cinema. And same as you, if I'd seen it in the cinema, I wonder how my thing would have been different, or how my experience would have been different. So I am going to give it a 4. I'm going to give it a 4 because I quite liked it. And but although the weird thing about it is that it's directed by David Lowery, and all the way I was watching this film thinking, this feels like it was made by Robert Eggers, the guy who did the last Nosferatu and did the Northman and did the Lighthouse. It really made me think of the Lighthouse. I was like, yeah, it really made me think of the Lighthouse. I was like, this is so weird. It's like somebody's filming a dream. What the heck is going on? And then the camera pans around, and then somebody's now a skeleton, and it goes back, but they're now flesh again. And did they die there? What happened? And it's a real trippy film, and I think it's one of those sad casualties of COVID. As I said, that it would have been great for this to have been in the cinema somewhere, but I think it's only going to be on like cult viewings and all that. All right, and now let's go back to cinema, and we are going to talk Rental Family. So, Shaun, if you can please tell us about this. All I know about this is Brendan Fraser is in Japan. It looks delightful from every single trailer that I've seen. It looks so heartwarming in a way that Brendan Fraser really lends himself to. And I'm going to pop away for a second, but please carry on.
Okay, so basically the story is the film is about. There's this actor, American actor. He's been in Tokyo for a long time, and he's looking for a job, and he gets this job at what they call a rental family, and basically it is a firm that in Japanese society is very, very sort of formal and everything else, and he has to play a role. So like there's one bit where he has to play the husband. He has to play the husband to a girl and actually go through a proper Japanese marriage, because the Japanese girl has got ulterior motives. She wants to move away from the family because, this is just one instance. So, and so he goes through the whole marriage. He's like the whole thing, and the parents of the girl are saying, "Oh, welcome to the family" and all that, but it's not real, and obviously. So that's basically the story. This company, this rental family, they do funerals and like mistresses and And Brendan Fraser, they say, oh, we want to get this little girl into a school. So the mum wants you to play like the dad that's been away, to come back and play the dad. Look at this, I'm getting all emotional here. Anyway, films don't normally do that to me. But anyway, yeah. So, and also he plays another role. There's another bit where there's this old Japanese gentleman that's starting to get dementia, and they won't let him out. And he says to Brendan Fraser, he says, "Yeah, I've got to get out. I need to go to this place and that." And yeah, I mean, it's a lovely, lovely film. Real big surprise this was. And I think you're right. Brendan Fraser can really he's got a good range of emotions which tug at the whole heartstrings, you know. And the acting, yeah, it's really, really good. And I shall be going to Tokyo in February.
Oh yeah, you are.
It's really, really excited me. I thought, oh man, I can't. So this was all around Tokyo. It was, as I say, it was a secret screening. Yeah. So we didn't know what to expect. And yeah, the story. I mean, the old man's story, and you know, obviously he's playing a part, and he becomes attached to this little girl, you know, and the little girl becomes super attached to him, and then he has to sort of say, oh, you know, I've got to go back, and then go, well, I've only just sort of arrived and all that. And it starts texting. The mum gets really, really funny and says, you know, you've got to stop now. And said, we're done. So, yeah, and there's all situations like that. And there's some side stories with some other people who work for the company. As I say, there's this girl that works for the company there's this girl that works for the company, and she you know, she has to play like a mistress and apologise to this man's wife. You know, that says, oh yeah, and our wife's getting angry. But then there's a bit where, because he's helped with this old boy, he gets put in prison, and there's a scene, I won't say it, but they're like, and so two of the employees get really angry with the boss of the company, and then no, I can't say that because that's a total spoiler. So I just say they disguise themselves. They've fallen out with each other. They disguise themselves, and then they think, oh no, this is going to happen. And then, absolutely glorious, lovely film. Found myself getting quite emotional, which is difficult for me. And I liked how it went because it wasn't too soppy, and it was a bit like Life of was it Private Life, that the Korean film? It's that type of thing, you know what I mean? It's like, wow.
Oh yeah, past lives.
It's like realism. Do you know what I mean? So I really like that bit where it comes to, well, there's, you know, and yeah, there's bits where the little girl's giving him like pictures, drawn in pictures and stuff, and he's put them up in his. And there's a little scene like Rear Window where his apartment is, and there's like all little other. He's watching other people, you know, couples and singles and all that. Yeah, great film. Really, really, really lovely film. I'd like to see this again. I've got a feeling it might not come to
the Isle of Wight.
Yeah. So I'm really, really glad I saw this. Yeah. So.
All right, cool. You see now, things. I'm really happy you said that, because I have to say, like, from all the trailers I've seen for this, I've just been like, this looks so good. It looks. And I'm going to say a couple of cheesy things. It looks life-affirming. It looks like, you know, it looks wonderful. It looks like, you know, you're going to leave, like, just sort of like, oh, that was so good. Like, and the fact that it's making you emotional. At the same time, now, let's say, if this was a solely American film, I could see this being some mawkish nonsense that does not deserve to be on anything above Netflix, like you know, on the back burner somewhere on Netflix, because it's that you could see already that it was going to be like a love story between him and the mother of the girl, because I'm guessing the mother had this girl out of wedlock. Nobody knows who the real dad is, and so she just introduces him as the dad. And so and it's directed by Hikari, who is a Japanese female filmmaker, and all that just makes me think, okay, ready. I'm ready. I want to go. It's giving me a view almost like, do you remember the film The Farewell?
Yes.
I think it's going to be a totally different film, but like that whole idea of let's get a window into another culture by somebody from that culture. I mean, I'm like, yes, bring it on. All right.
So I think you've nailed it, Toes. I think you've nailed it. Is that it is, you know, although there's these roles, it's not like, oh, it's all nice and do you know what I mean? It's realistic. It's realistic, you know.
All neatly tied up in a bow.
Yeah, he doesn't, you know, there's none of that falling in love with the a girl's mum or anything like that. It's just like, if anything, it's So no, really enjoyed this, and I think you could wait for this for streaming. I mean, I don't think it's going to be, because it's not like cinematic gold, but I would see this at the cinema anyway. So
that's what I want to hear, Shaun.
Your rating, I'll just say my take on the trailer was very similar. That it didn't feel mawkish. That it made me feel like it would leave me a bit damp-eyed.
Yeah.
And that it's.
I mean, you know me.
Yeah, I know you're not.
I'm not normally that emotional. I am.
But I thought it looked like a kind and a sort of gentle film in a sort of way that you could kind of cocoon yourself in. Anyway, I will be quiet now.
Okay, so you've already said that Rental Family, you would see it at the cinema. You would see it at the cinema.
Yeah, I'd see that at the cinema. And I'm going to give it definitely a 4 and probably a 4.25.
4.25. So it's inching.
Just above a 4.
Just above a 4. I actually think I really like Sharon's decimal points.
Yes.
I like them. The 3 graduations between 2 numbers. I actually quite like it. All right, cool. And now we are going to go over to Netflix and Friends, and we're going to talk His and Hers. Now, Holly, this is you. This is something that I think I've seen some adverts for, but I'm not sure, because there was I think that was Him and Her. It was some show starring Russell Tovey and Sarah Soleimani ages ago.
No, I'm going to do a double check though, because you know what I'm like for forgetting film names. His and Hers. Yes, it is. I'm right. It is His and Hers. I haven't lost my mind.
It's a film, is it, or a TV series?
It is a TV series. It is. I'm going to say 6 parts, but I think it might be either one more or one. I think it's one more.
What platform?
It is Netflix.
Netflix. All right, cool.
Yes, and it stars John Bernthal and Tessa Thompson.
Oh.
And has been quite front and center on the things for you, which may tell you more about my
the Netflix algorithm.
Netflix algorithm thought I would like it. So they play a separated couple who you find out quite early on had lost a child, and she, a journalist, had sort of disappeared for the last year, and to cope with her grief.
Sorry. Netflix. I just opened up Netflix, and sure enough, it's right there, and immediately started playing the trailer. Sorry about that. Carry on.
Do not worry. So she has been sort of absent for a year. He's been living with his sister and her daughter, and life has been somewhat continuing. But it begins with a woman being murdered and found on the bonnet of her car in the woods near their hometown. And it becomes immediately apparent that this woman has connections to both him and her.
Okay.
And she, having been superseded in her job at the TV station because she's been absent, wants to get her job back. And so gets put on the story and goes off and finds herself investigating. And all of this leads to details of the past, of previous relationships, of all sorts of ins and outs going back to young teenage years, and people's behaviour, and twists and turns with Tess Thompson's mother having increasing dementia, and all sorts of ups and downs and roundabouts, and who's had relationships with whom, life affirming choices or otherwise. And it is a most watchable series.
Just want to check something. This isn't a Harlan Coben, because it looks for all the world like a Harlan Coben.
No, I mean, it has many Harlan Coben characteristics to recommend itself, but it is not.
Okay.
It is based upon a book by Alice Feeney, who I am not familiar with.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a decent watch. It kept me ticking over. I saw some of it, but I did not see all of it coming.
All right.
Which is always nice. It was, yeah, I enjoyed it. It's not an option to watch it in the cinema, obviously, because it's a multi-part series at home. And is perfectly suitable for that. It probably warrants paying slightly more attention than I did, because we all know I have the attention span of, well, a small child. But I would recommend it, and I would give it a 3.5.
3.5. All right. So with this, like, so His and Hers, have you seen a TV series called Sharp Objects starring Amy, what's her face?
Yes, I have. Yes, because that's a what's her name book.
It's a Gillian Flynn. Gillian Flynn. You ever remember? It's a hard G. Starring, why have I forgotten her name? Amy Adams. Yeah. Amy Adams. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I was about to say Amy Thingy.
Yeah. So this seems like it has some similar. If this, from the description and everything like that, and the look of it, it looks like a combination of Sharp Objects and Harlan Coben.
It certainly has some Gillian Flynn resemblances, because of course she also wrote Gone Girl, amongst a number of other very good books. There was one that's been adapted with Toni Collette. It's quite different to the book, but it's got a touch of her feel to it. A touch of Harlan Coben, but better constructed.
This is making me think I need to actually watch a Harlan Coben to find out why people keep slating them.
You've never watched one. You have to watch one.
I'm pretty sure I've never watched a Harlan Coben. I've never watched.
Even if you had, you might have forgotten.
There was one of them that was turned into a French film.
They have been there. Also, there's a French film. There are also a number of Polish adaptations, which I've also watched.
There was one that was turned into a French film starring Daniel. I think it's pronounced. Well, I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's Autiel. Autiel. And I think I've seen that one back in the days of, remember when you had Love Film and you had to sort of like pay, and then they'll send you a DVD and you watch the DVD and you would send it back before streaming actually figured it out, the whole thing out. You're looking at me blankly like you don't remember this.
I know, I do, but I'm trying to think.
It was Love Film. It's how Amazon started the streaming stuff.
I remember Love Film. I had a Love Film subscription.
I remember I had a Love Film subscription. It's how Netflix started as well. Yeah. All right, cool. But for 3.5 stars for His and Hers. And now we are going back to cinema, and we are talking The Housemaid. So The Housemaid. And from what I know about this is you have Sydney Sweeney, you have Amanda Seyfried, you have, and this seems to be like it almost seems like a throwback to the 90s of one of those, there's two women in the house, which one of them is mad? And it's like, there's like a real sort of like single white female / the hand that rocks the cradle thing going on here. But so Shaun, am I right, or am I being too judgmental based on the trailers?
Too judgmental based on the trailers, I think.
Ooh, all right, cool. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about this.
Okay, so this basically what happens, there's this girl, she's been in prison. She falsifies a CV, and she turns up for this job as a housemaid, and she has an interview, and it says see from the CV and all that. She's obviously got a past. She's got, shall we say, some, which you see in a flashback of what happened in the past, and she's obviously done some time, and she goes there, and then she goes, "Oh, we'll let you know about the job." And she's sort of sleeping in her car, and she hasn't got anything. And then she gets a phone call and says, "We'd like to offer you the job." This woman, and she's lovely, the woman. And then so it goes, "Oh, thanks for that." It goes, "Oh, you do this, you do that." There's a daughter. They've got a daughter who's quite odd. Yeah, does ballerina lessons, quite odd. Who's got this room, and then there's a doll's house which is just like the house they live in with dollies, which change over the course of the film. And you've got the idealistic husband, absolutely fabulous, that all the PTA and everybody says, the perfect husband kind of thing. Yeah. So and the Amanda Seyfried character, obviously, supposedly had a past and did something that was really, really bad in the past, and you actually see that maybe there was a bit of a grey area, but she keeps having these psychotic, mad fits, and and just really throwing stuff and getting really, really angry, and and the husband's like, okay, calm down, I love you, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and they're all going, all the people, oh, what a lovely man, what a lovely man, what a lovely smile, which comes into it later, and he's got the weirdest mum ever. Anyway, shall we say a bit like Think Devil's Wears Prada, the Meryl Streep character, dialed up till 10. And you sort of know where it's going to go, and you've got the things worked out. But so obviously, the housemaid is, she's quite nice looking, and the husband's quite looking, and she's looking for someone else. So, and it's all like set up. So this thing's all like set up.
Sure. Shaun, everything you're saying is making me think I was bang on the money with this 90s thriller.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not normally big on these sort of things, but but I mean, I don't know. But it's not what you think, Toes. It's not what you think at all. Okay, I know what you think. That's your expectation. So the first part of the film, you think, yeah, you're watching it, and yeah, it's going that way. You think you know what's going to happen. You think you know what's going to happen, and then it sort of goes somewhere different, and yeah, it's I really like this film. I really like this film. Now, I didn't think I'd go, yes, really like this film, and Amanda Seyfried was, like I like with the actors. She convinced me, man. She convinced me to start off. She convinced me. She was totally, absolutely fabulous performance. I never knew she had that in her. It was class.
I think Amanda Seyfried, she's one of those actresses who, as she's grown older, she has really started flexing her muscles to say, look, I am more than the ditzy blonde in Mean Girls. Because for a while, she was being put into the block, into the sort of block that most blonde starlets are. But I think I saw her in a TV series, The Dropout, where she played the woman who founded Serranos, and she was awesome in that. And ever since then, I've just been like, okay, the woman, you've got to watch what she does.
Yeah, and she is absolutely brilliant in this. I think knockout performance, just really, really good. The other girl, what's her name? Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney. I don't really know much about her, but there's a few, should we say, raunchy scenes sort of thing.
She's another one who's fighting being put in the blocks of the blonde blonde starlets. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, she's in the new the boxing film, the name of which I.
Oh yeah, it didn't come to the cinema. Christy. Yeah, I would like to have seen that.
So she is sort of renowned for looking good in a low cut top. But I think that significantly underrates her abilities, and the MAGA crowd have been quite taken with her.
Yeah,
was it a Lee's jeans advert or some? No, American.
It was American Apparel.
Yeah, so there is some controversy attached to her, which I suspect she would rather there wasn't.
The thing is, I think going on to this. Actually, we didn't say how many stars, Shaun. But let's go. How many stars?
Right, how many stars? I just want to say this one thing again before and after things that go on and everything like that, there was a bit of a extra at the end, which I just really, 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 really liked, and it really capped off a really good movie for me. So this is getting a 4.
Okay, 4 stars for The Housemaid.
Yes.
Because
Sydney Sweeney. I'm going to watch it again. I'd like to watch it again. I was surprised. It really, really surprised me.
You see, I might actually go, because this is one of the choices that I had last night. I might actually go because I might get a chance to see more. I might get a chance to see a few more films this weekend due to my birthday. But
Happy birthday, Toes! Happy birthday!
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday to you. Oh mate, it was your birthday. How old are you? Like 27 again?
Oh yeah, well, for the first time, Shaun. For the first time, 27 for the first time.
I'm supporting this because that means I'm 26.
All right, cool. So and Shaun, a new question. So, would you go see The Housemaid in the cinema, or do you think you should wait until it gets into streaming?
I would go and watch it at the cinema, and chances are, if it's still about, I might go and see it again with Happy John, because Happy John would see it again.
Oh,
and
yeah?
Happy John's friend who I spoke to once, he really enjoyed it as well, which is unusual for blokey type things. But anyway, yeah, I think you could either or. I think, because it's not a cinematic masterpiece. It's a thrillery sort of thing. So you could probably wait till streaming, and it wouldn't really have a big thing. But I personally would go see it at cinema.
All right. Okay, cool. And the other thing I was going to say about Sydney Sweeney, to put my 2 cents in on Sydney Sweeney. The thing is, Sydney Sweeney, I think, is very clever. I think she's very astute. And so the thing is, she is a good actress. Sydney Sweeney is a good actress. But you say Holly, you mentioned that she's well known for looking good in a low-cut top. The thing is, Sydney Sweeney knows she looks good in a low-cut top, and she knows that people want to look at her in a low-cut top. So she wears low-cut tops. So there's a lot of pictures of her in a low-cut top. All the controversies that come up around her, like the fact that she has some family relatives that seem to be Trump supporters, the fact that they had that jeans advert that people were seeing as as saying something about eugenics, and which I thought was a bit far-fetched, to be honest with you. She is very notable by her silence. She doesn't say anything. So people say, "Oh my God, Sydney Sweeney is in this thing." She doesn't say anything. You don't find an article or a statement or anything like that by Sydney Sweeney, and I think that's because she knows that if she says nothing, people can say whatever they want, and then her profile just raises. And the thing is, I think she is quite astute. I think that she chooses what she does very well. I think she chooses when she takes her clothes off very well, because everything is about building a career that's going to be around for a while. Because nowadays, most of the stuff that she's in, she produces. So I just think that the woman is very astute. She's a good businesswoman, and I'm mostly here for it. I am mostly here for it, and I also find it very hard to look at anything she does as through anything other than a business lens. So, but anyway, that's it. And now we're going to a final thing we're going to talk about this week, which is Eenie, Meanie. And this is a film talking about blonde starlets. This is a film on Disney Plus starring Samara Weaving of Ready or Not fame. This film kicks off and you meet this girl, and her name is Edith Meanie, which is and the nickname ends up being Eenie Meanie. So it's Edith Meanie, and you see her parents calling her when she's like 14, saying, "Come drive us home from the pub because we're drunk." and in this thing, she's in there, she's driving there, her dad's in the back of the car going, "Okay, remember, just drive like I told you." And so this 14-year-old is driving her drunk parents home from the pub, which kind of tells you about the kind of life that she lives and the kind of thing that she does. And they get pulled over by the police, and her dad is like, don't stop. Your mom has like a pound of cocaine in her bag. It's like, do it like I told you. Floor it. And then it ends with her dad saying, "Floor it." And then you just cuts. And now she's grown up. She's working in a bank, and she's working in a bank. And she's speaking to a friend and a friend keeps telling her, "Don't go back. Don't give that guy a call. And when the bank gets robbed, she gets knocked down and taken to the hospital, and then she finds out that she's pregnant. So, and all the while, because she's being told by her friend, "Don't go back to that guy. He's bad news. So and there's almost like a sliding doors moment where she could go in to do an exam that's going to help her for the next stage of her qualification of her life, or she could go see this guy who is bad news. She goes to see the guy who's bad news, and then all hell kicks off. And I think this is the bit where I think that you would like, because the film, so it stars Samara Weaving as Eenie Meanie. You got Kyle Glusman, who is an actor who is one of those, Sean, I think he's on my list for who I don't actually think he's a good actor. He was in The Running Man. He was one of the hunters in The Running Man.
Right.
He is most famous for being in a film called Love by Gaspar Noé that had unsimulated sex in it. And from that point on, I was it's Gaspar Noé's weird, Holly. It's all very avant-garde.
There you go.
Yes, he's that's probably the highest profile thing he's done. But each time I see him on screen, I'm like, I don't know if I believe you. Maybe it doesn't help that he keeps playing idiots. but
which one in The Running Man was he? Can you remember? Not the tall blonde one, the skinny wiry one. No?
He's the blonde one.
Oh, right, okay. I think I know the one you mean. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's the blonde one. And so he plays this, and so she goes there, she goes to this place. He is in some sort of trouble because she has tried to escape this life of crime that started off with her dad, and then she's gone into and everything like that. She's tried to escape this life of crime. And then she goes back to her boyfriend's house and immediately gets thrown into it in one of the most kinetic sequences I think I've seen for years. Just the way that they run out of the building into another building, what goes on and what happens, and this escalates and then that escalates. And then she ends up speaking to Andy Garcia. And Andy Garcia is in this film, and he is the guy who actually nicknamed her Eenie. He's like, oh, are you back? Because I need a getaway driver. And so she ends up getting roped in to do this getaway driver job. And then the whole thing becomes this sort of heist movie where they're trying to figure out how you're going to do the getaway driver thing. And there is a rival getaway driver who just waits for, whose modus operandi is to wait for her to do the job, then steal the car from her with everything in the job. And so it has all these characters that just sort of come in. It has one really, really funny gag about electric cars and about trying to run somebody over with an electric car that I thought was hilarious. And I think Samara Weaving is great. I think the film is propulsive. It just goes on. It doesn't feel that long, probably about 90 minutes. And where it ends up, where it ends up. I liked where it ended up. I liked what they did in the end. I liked because I thought, yeah, that is the way out of this. That is the way out of this. That makes sense. And it's no, if I say too much, I think I'll probably give it away. But I'll give this a 4 out of 5. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those films that, actually, that's another thing we could do. It's like, as we know, we're saying whether you would see it in cinemas or whether you should wait for it to come on streaming, whether you think this should have been in cinemas. And I feel like this film, I think it should have been in cinemas. I don't think it would have been like a massive, massive hit, but I think it could have been a mid-sized one. But the way it was released on Disney Plus, I feel like most people don't even know the film is there.
That's the trouble.
I feel like most people, they had like a week of putting it up on the banner at the top, and then they just forgot about it, and they were like, "Oh no, something else is along." So it's a pretty, because it's a good film, great characters, funny moments, good sort of like heist plot. So that is it, 4 stars for Eenie Meanie, which brings us to the end of this week. And so we have the question that we always ask ourselves: who do you think has won this week, cinema or Netflix?
Well, for me, I mean, I think it's been like on the whole, it's been a really, really sort of good week. Really,
it's a good week. Yeah, it's a good week.
Yeah, it's been a good week. One of our better weeks. I think my poor rating for The Green Knight, which is what I say should have been at the cinema.
Yeah,
should have been at the cinema. I think that might have just dragged the streaming down a little bit. So I'm going to go for cinema.
Yeah, that's my feeling.
You would both be right. Cinema, and it's because cinema didn't get anything lower than a 4.
Wow.
Cinema didn't get anything lower than a 4 this week, and let's see, Netflix and Friends only got 1 4, so it's a 4.08 versus a 3.5, which is quite a big way. So well done, cinema. Big hitters.
I've been lucky with cinema, really. There's only maybe one film that we got to talk about later, hopefully with Sharon. But
oh yes, Primates. Hopefully Sharon will be back next week and we can talk Primates next week. Yeah. All right, cool. So until then, please do find us on YouTube. Do like, do subscribe, anything that you see. Do subscribe to the podcast if you're more of an audio listening person. It will be, and also get in touch with us. Leave some comments. Let us know what you thought about all these different things. We put up individual reviews up on YouTube, so go find the review for The Green Knight. Go watch it on Prime Video and tell us if you think, oh no, it's a 2-hour masterpiece, or oh my god, I couldn't make it past 30 seconds. So whichever one it is, please do come and interact with us. We would love to hear what it is that you think. But until next week, it's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Thank you very much for joining us.